So there's snow on the ground, and I have a surplus of RC electronic parts, and I have a guy who knows what to do with them. So I figured we would build a craft that can, you know, glide across the snow. And this guy is gonna build the what do you call that? The body, whatever. And I'm doing electronics. We're ripping the electronics out of my old Versawing, as well as we're gonna have two motors. We have a motor here on that, and then we also have a motor I'm gonna rip out from the Versawing. It's gonna be differential thrust. We honestly don't have a whole lot of plans for this. He just kind of is winging it, which will probably work just fine. And I got to get all the electronic systems together, so let's go ahead and do that. What were we saying? He said, hey there?
Maybe works just fine.
Maybe work just fine. Who knows? Who knows? So I gotta rip this thing apart and rip out all the electronics. So, you know, let me grab my tripod. Let me time lapse this thing real quick. This is the motor I had on my Versawing. I believe this is 1,000 kV. We have no idea what kV this is, so I'm hoping this is just like close enough to not really matter, but when we do the differential thrust system, what we will have to do is, now this runs on a 40 amp ESC, and this runs on a 20 amp ESC, so this is obviously, don't think we'll have the same wattage as power as that one. But I think what we can do is we'll run the same props, and what we can do is just when we do set up the differential thrust with my controller, we can just trim it so that they're both even. So it'll take some testing there. These are the two props we'll be using. I've got like a bunch of these in a box over there. What are you doing over here?
I'm working on the pontoons. So if you got I'm gonna have it 3 inches thick. So the body.
Oh, 3 inch pontoons? I thought we did 4 inch pontoons.
4 inches wide, 3 inches deep. So then,
the thickness, the height of the pontoon will be 3 inches.
So we'll have them 4 inches wide here.
Okay.
It's about there, and then 3 inches thick on there. So then it'll be a little bit longer than the body because we'll need like the curvature.
Okay.
There, but
cool. Awesome. Well, it's coming together. All right. So we have most of our electrical systems up and running. I just wanted to go ahead and quickly show you guys how all this is working. We've got two motors here, and as far as the thrust level, we won't actually be able to properly trim the differential thrust because we're using two different types of motors until we actually get the props on and measure the thrust on the actual machine. But right now, let me just go ahead and show you how this is all set up. We have actually two separate batteries for each motor and two separate ESCs because that's how it works. And then I just have one receiver. Very simple. It's actually like a 8-channel receiver, but I'm only using 2 of them because, like you said, we don't have any other servos. We just have these 2 motors. Let me go ahead and show you how all this works. So I've hooked up the main throttle action to, of course, throttle. So let me go ahead and just show you over there. So as you can see here, when I just run the throttle, we have normal throttle control on both motors. But the interesting part is I've actually mixed my aileron channel with the throttle channel. So when I do that, if I have the same half throttle here, if you look over here, as I move this, one motor turns off or the other one turns off. And it doesn't actually turn, let me go and turn that off, that noise. It doesn't actually completely shut off so if I'm turning left, it will increase the right motor all the way up until the left motor is entirely off, and vice versa to get the differential thrust. So that's basically how it works. How are you doing over here?
Pretty good. I'm working on the pontoon setup.
Cool.
So I have the slits along here so it'll fold up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice curvature there.
Edge there.
Awesome.
And so then along here, I'm just cutting this away so that this can then fold over onto there.
Oh, I see. That's cool looking. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, now that our most early of our electronics are on, I still have to put on the props and stuff. But for the most part, we're done with electronics until we can mount the stuff on the aircraft. So I guess we'll see you guys again in a bit. Lots of transition. Okay, so if you guys come over here, you can see this is the main body that Micaiah built, and it looks pretty good. We've got 2 pontoons and then some struts in the middle to keep it for support and all that stuff. And this is actually really, really strong. So we've got that. I already showed you all the electronics. These are the 2 things. We're going to paint these, obviously, but these are going to be our 2 motor mounts in the back, like this. And of course, one motor will go faster, and the other will go slower to turn left and right. And that should be about it. All electronics will be mounted here. We'll probably have a camera somewhere on here as well. And yeah. All right. So it's the next day. We got these parts just fresh off the printer here. pop these off. These are the motor mounts. Let me get that in focus. These are the motor mounts we're going to be using on it. So let's go ahead and go attach those on. Okay, so we've got our main chassis here. We've spray painted. Let me just go ahead and got it up here. We spray painted these foam motor mounts and these 3D prints. Attach those on here. So let me go ahead and attach those on with hot glue. So this is one of the motor mounts finished. He's still working on the other motor mount. But how this will work is we've set it up so that when it's sitting down, it's at a slight angle. It's not completely vertical. It's at a slight angle back, and that way it will hopefully keep the thing from going airborne, because we're gonna have so much thrust in this thing. I feel like if it would go on a hill, it could go airborne. So we're gonna put these motor mounts slightly angled down to keep it on the ground. Hopefully not introduce too much friction. And yeah, we just gotta get the other motor mount finished. This thing is just a basic 3D printed motor mount on there. Focus. It's just a basic 3D printed motor mount on there, and then I just drilled the hole through there. And this is just home insulation foam is what we used for the motor mount. So yeah. So we have the motors now. Would you care to tell us what doesn't look quite right about this here?
So if you take a close look, when we put it on the wrong side of the thing. So now pushing it this way. It's
the pontoons are supposed to, this is the front, because that's the slant of the pontoons, and this is supposed to be a pusher prop, not tractor, but we put them on the wrong side. So now we got to rip it all out and move it around. So yay. So we finally put them on right. Micaiah put this spar on here, so that's nice and strong as well. So we've got all that. We've got 2 batteries here. Receiver, we've got everything wired up, so that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick rev up test to make sure everything is working properly. Let's go ahead and plug in, let's go to here. Rev up test. Well, let's make sure this is in the right direction here. Both go in the right direction. Forgot that not only, oh wow, look at that, it came off. I might need to get a stronger, yeah, we need to get a stronger pin on that one. That looks terrible.
What?
It's so dangerous, because like it's like the arc of it is like this big instead of the normal just that big.
This is gonna be awesome.
But yeah, it's ready to go. So let's go ahead and shut it all down, take it out there, and see if it works. Oh, I might need my ND filter out here. Okay, so we're about to go test out the plane here. Sorry if it's a little blown out here. It's really bright out here. So we're gonna go into the pasture and see if this works. We just did a little push test though, and it glides really well. And also on the snow here, there's like a thin layer of ice on top of the snow, so I think it's gonna work really well. What if there's like absolutely no friction whatsoever and we can just like do barrel rolls, not barrel rolls, donuts like the entire time? Well, there it is. You got that over there? So the throttle's normal, and we're using the aileron stick to go left and right. With the maximum aperture here, it's so bright out here. Yeah.
This prop's on backwards.
It is?
Well, yeah, that's the one I put on.
Oh.
So it turns out when we had to drill that prop out to make it fit on the motor, because the motor was bigger than the prop, we didn't drill it out straight, so Josiah's going back in to drill out a new one for us.
Hello. Okay, I got my ND filter on now, so I've got a better aperture, so it should look a whole lot better. It still might be a little bit blown out, but that's what we got. So one of the props was backwards, so we real drilled it, and yeah, go ahead and actually let's face another direction. That could have been bad. Are you gonna get that later? Yeah. Is it trim really off, or just too sensitive?
Really sensitive.
We're reversing the trim because it was backwards, so. Oh! Well, now I know what that did. That was on low throws. What if I just keep the throws way down?
Yeah, I think that would be. That's all you need.
I'm gonna run out and look at it while you do that. Get some action shots here. My horses are very disturbed at this. Okay, so you go ahead and tell us what you've added on here.
So So we've got on the pontoons, we added some ruts. I don't
Okay.
know.
So I'll show you guys how that looks like. It's sort
Almost
of
like an ice skate.
Yeah, and that we're hoping that will. What was happening is that it was like sliding too much on the ice. So when you would turn left, it would just keep sliding. And it would drift so bad. So we're hoping this should give it a little more. I guess I don't know, not really traction. I guess traction, yeah, to keep it from just sliding after we stopped turning. So hopefully that should work. Want to go test it out?
And let's do it.
Turns out that those new little ruts, not ruts, I guess little runners we put under the pontoons worked really, really well. So I had to go in the house and grab something. That's why I'm coming out here. But you can see Micaiah's down there driving it, and I've driven it, and I am very, very happy with it. It's working quite well, except when you flip it over like that. Good to go. Goodbye. Oh, but also a big thing about this, we had to move all the weight to the back because when the weight was on the front of it would dig in and it would miss it. So now that we've moved the center of mass back, and this thing can reach a pretty high top speed. Let me
The battery's getting a little low, so it's not quite as much as it was.
Okay, do a really fast run by to here, and I'll try to get a nice close-up shot of it. Whoa! Almost hit me, bro. So yeah, it can go really fast. Nice. And this is not even a full battery. Okay, so this is the final iteration that we've come up with. Well, I say final. We might do a version 2 for this video. This is the final what we've done. We have our 2 batteries right here, just in front of the motor mouse. We found that's the best place for center of mass and all that stuff. And we've got extra spars here to keep this from moving and rigid there. And the main things that we've smoothed off these bottom things, and these are really the key to making this work and have good handling. So it's pretty much done, so let's go ahead, go outside, and do the final test run. Alright, so he's putting in the batteries here, and this will pretty much be the final test of it, and hopefully it'll all work. I don't need sunglasses. Put those away. Is it working good? Man, that thing can really go.
I wasn't going past the quarter throttle.
Wow, let me get out there and get some low shots of this. Nice. Yeah, the steering's so much better, I bet, with those treads. Well, this project seemed to work out pretty well. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. I'm Josiah. Thanks for watching. Say goodbye, Micaiah.
Goodbye.